The advice I would give to the military, and I'd be happy to talk to them in private to make exactly these points.
Actually, when I was a young boy, I learned more about Muslim culture, about Ramadan and the Quran. So the father taught me a little bit about the Quran. I remember it was a red color Quran.
Mr. Gandhi, if you could not live under the British as second-class citizens, how? How do you expect Muslims to live as second-class citizens under the majority Hindus?
We could quickly respond after these elections and after these allegations of rigging.
Our plan is that we've been working this past year to qualitatively change the nature of our relationship between the United States and Pakistan.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Moeed Pirzada. But this is not a vlog. So if this is not a vlog, what is this? This is an appeal and a request to all of you, anyone who's watching this, who's listening this. The appeal is, the request is to join this English channel Iconoclast with Moeed Pirzada. Now, I will talk a little bit about the content, but first of all, let me explain why the need for an English channel. The idea of an English channel had been with me for quite some time. You know, I have mentioned it in several of my vlogs, I've discussed it. Many of you, in hundreds of times, people have actually asked me that there should be an English channel. We need an English channel as a community to connect with the larger world. There's so many topics, there's so many issues, there's so many different variety of issues which cannot be discussed in Urdu, for the simple reason that the kind of expertise, the kind of knowledge, the kind of perspective that is needed to discuss those issues is not necessarily available with the Urdu-speaking people. And even if we have the kind of right experts, there's so less a number. That expertise is so limited, especially when you come to perspective. So it's very important to have an English channel. Now you might ask that there are hundreds and thousands of English channels, and Moeed Pirzada will not be able to and cannot invent a new topic, new issue. So all kind of topics and issues which we will debate on this already exist, are already being debated on hundreds and thousands of English YouTube channels. So what will be the difference? The difference is this: I think there's hardly any YouTube channel of the Pakistani origin that is tackling with those issues, that is reaching out to other varied opinions and perspectives with a Pakistani lens, with a Pakistani mind, with a Pakistani perspective. So this English channel will be in the nature and quality and capacity of a platform, a Pakistani platform, in which we invite different perspectives and different backgrounds, different opinions, different sets of knowledge on different issues, and engage them with a Pakistani perspective, engage them with a Pakistani lens. Now, several months ago or several weeks ago, when I first created this, I started this by a very popular act. I created a very brief 14-minute documentary on Imran Khan's life, which was titled From a Cricket Star to Murshid.
Imran Khan turned 71 on October 5th. On this fateful day, he finds himself locked in a death cell. Pakistani generals want him to surrender to their plans of perpetual military domination. His political opponents wish him dead or disappear into thin air. Many have started calling him Murshid. That means a Sufi guide, a teacher that suggests religious connotations. But nothing can be more misleading. Khan is not a religious leader. His pulpit and appeal both are much diverse and different.
It was about the journey of the former Prime Minister of Pakistan as to how his life changed, transformed and evolved from the times when he was a playboy, a cricket star, to someone who has assumed not only the political but religious but philosophical and mystical dimensions. So on the face of it, the documentary was only 14 minutes, but trust me, it took several days of writing, script writing, development, audio-visual effect, and development by several people to produce that video. And it has been watched by more than 100,000. This was the first video. There were no subscribers on this channel at the time. So this video was the beginning, and that video itself brought almost 20,000 subscribers to this channel. Right now, this channel, Iconoclast with Moeed Pirzada, has about 27,000 plus subscribers. But these subscribers are very small in number to attract the kind of people, the kind of perspective, the kind of experts I want to bring on this channel. You might realize that recently I did two very good interviews, interviews of some substance and significance. The first one was with Ambassador John Bolton, who has served as National Security Advisor, NSA, to President Trump in the Trump administration.
The real result in this recent election has been so overwhelming for Imran Khan and his supporters that it doesn't help the military to stand in the way of the popular voice. The message I guess I would give to supporters of Imran Khan is you've got right on your side here in terms of the legitimacy of the popular vote. I'll put it this way, it's more excessively friendly to China. The Chinese effort to gain hegemony along the long Indo-Pacific periphery is really very serious.
And the second one was with Congressman Greg Casar, who had written a letter along with other congressmen, 31 signatures, to the President of the United States and to the Secretary of State, asking to scrutinize the election results and not to recognize the Shahbaz Zardari government without a proper scrutiny of the election results.
I'm Greg Casar, and I represent the heart of Texas. We can restore abortion rights and civil rights. We can save our planet and our democracy for generations to come.
Congressman Greg Casar is an honorable member of the U.S. House of Representatives.
We could quickly respond after these elections and after these allegations of rigging with this letter, really pushing the State Department to say we should withhold recognition of a new government until there is independent and credible investigation that the election was not rigged.
I do not know whether you have noticed or not that despite the fact that both these interviews were in English, I could not put them, I didn't start them and broadcast them from this English channel, Iconoclast with Moeed Pirzada, and I put them in my Urdu channels. Why? The reason was this, that I had so limited subscribers on this that I thought that it would not spread, it would not reach out. And also when I have to convince and bargain the media teams of these important people, because all the important people I want to bring on this channel would be important in one or the other way. They may be scientists, they may be philosophers, they may be experts, authors, writers, professors. They will have a team, they will have someone to intercede and act on their behalf. So I have to convince them that if they grant me the interview, if they grant me the discussion, I will be able to project to a larger audience. That is why it is very important that I should have a bigger subscriber base on this channel. Right now, it's only 27,000. I hope with my request, at least 5,000-6,000 people would join this in the next 24 hours. And I will continue to remind you, I will continue to request you, I will continue to appeal to you, because I know this thing as a television person that in one single appeal, ek dafa mangne se, ek dafa kehne se, ye hone nahi laga. So I will have to repeat this thing again and again that you should join me on this channel. And I will keep on, also explaining the significance of an English channel. Just imagine this thing. It is not only to talk with the Canadians or the Americans, the English-speaking Britishers or the Australians and New Zealanders. How do you talk to the Palestinians? How do you talk to the Arabs? How do you talk to the Africans? How do you talk to the Latin Americans? How do you talk to the Spanish-speaking people? How do you speak to the French-speaking Europeans? And even, not only this, forget about, how do you talk to the Turks? And not only this, even many highly educated people, experts of Indian origin, which were not necessarily Hindi speaking to begin with, were Tamil speaking or the Bengali speaking, but living in India in the subcontinent, Madrasi speaking, they're not very fluent in Hindi. So you have to talk to them in English. So an English channel is very important for a broader interaction. And I have felt that there's so many topics, so many levels of understanding which you cannot bring to a media discussion unless you reach out to the wider world. It's simply not possible in Urdu to bring that kind of discussion. So once again, I will request you to join this channel. I will also remind you that, while the Imran Khan's documentary was watched by 100,000 plus people, immediately afterwards, after a few days, I produced a very nice, very interesting, very substantive, brief documentary comment on a theatrical production by Professor Akbar S. Ahmed, who teaches at the American University of Pakistani origin. And the theatrical production was probably in the George Washington University. And that was about Gandhi and Jinnah return home.
Gandhi and Jinnah return home. Imagine Mahatma Gandhi and Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah meeting again after 75 years. To do what? To reflect on the mess India and Pakistan have become. Gandhi's non-violence, tolerance for minorities and his humanism degenerating into the populist fascism.
The Indian civil service was neither civil nor Indian, not much of a service.
And I produced a very nice documentary on it, but it has only been watched by less than 20,000 people, which was very sad that, such a substantive comment on Indo-Pakistani history wasn't really watched by many people. But I'll continue to remind you. Subsequently, I had a discussion with a Muslim convert that why convert to Islam in an age of Islamophobia with Edward Gerard, a European of Dutch origin, who now lives in UK, probably would be living in the US, and he explained that why he decided to convert to Islam, and that was watched by more than 60,000 people.
There is a rising wave of Islamophobia across Europe, driven by fears of immigration from Muslim lands and rate of conversion to Islam amongst the local Christian communities.
You move from one faith into another faith. You move from the church into the mosque. What is that phenomenon?
Actually, when I was a young boy, I learned more about Muslim culture, about Ramadan and the Quran. So the father taught me a little bit about the Quran. I remember it was a red color Quran.
Red color Quran?
A red color Quran, yes. Even though I was young, I felt, and I read a lot of news, that the Christianity and the Catholic, it disappeared, and the Muslim culture just rised up more.
And I have also started another thing that I have started, and then subsequently what I did was, once I had put up the Ambassador John Bolton's interview on GBS News and the Greg Kassar interview there, I have started producing all such interviews here. So I brought the Greg Kassar interview, the John Bolton interview, here on the Iconoclast multimedia. And recently what I've also started is that I have started collecting all the past interviews which are of historic significance, like the interviews I did with Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in 2009, 10 and 11. I just recently produced a very old interview which I really liked, my first interaction with an American ambassador, Ambassador Ann Patterson, somewhere in the middle of 2009. I have produced it here. Only 4,000 some people have watched it. But interviews of immense historic significance for those people who can understand that what kind of positions she took then, what was the kind of relationship between the United States and Pakistan. I have collected some more historic interviews. I will keep on releasing them here. At the same time, I will bring fresh new content, and I promise that I'll bring some very interesting, substantive, significant content. So once again, I will request you, and I'll keep on reminding you to join me on Iconoclast with Moeed Pirzada. Thank you.